After our raid on the Advent Black site, I really didn't know what to think. XCOM, Advent, Mordena, none of it seemed to make sense anymore. But I convinced myself I shouldn't jump to conclusions. Yes, processing human bodies into tubes of goo did look pretty bad for Advent, but then again, maybe it was some sort of eco-friendly recycling program. Okay, fine, so that was a pretty weak rationale, and I don't think I really believed it anyway. It seemed even more telling that Mordena had stopped sending me those periodic messages. I had clearly crossed a line with her, and it seemed like a good idea to just give her some space for a while. So I threw myself into my work again, focusing on the day-to-day upkeep around the Avenger. Green Guard and Try Again had just gotten back from their supply run with a hefty stack of new resources, so that meant it was time to set up a new covert op. There were a number of possibilities, and I couldn't help but notice that hunting for Mordena was right at the top of the list Bradford had sent me. But I wasn't ready for that. Not yet. I opted to focus on more constructive things instead, like bulking up Lily's engineering staff. I sent out Wall and Badger to look into recruiting a new engineer, and then shortly afterwards directed the Grey Shirts towards putting us into contact with another one who was hiding out near an old amusement park. After that, I was called down to the research bay to receive Tygan's latest reports. He had come up with several promising theories and blueprints for some sort of psionic amplification device, but he needed more specialized equipment to really get results. I appreciated his enthusiasm, but I told him we needed to focus on more practical things for the moment. His Psi-Lab would need to wait until later, but in the meantime I wanted him to finish upgrading the rest of our armory with additional Gauss weaponry. All this running around the Avenger was definitely keeping me busy, but what I really needed was a good field mission to keep me from dwelling on the whole Black Site fiasco. Thankfully, that's about the time that the spokesman contacted me with a special request. Apparently, a former member of Advent's science staff had gone rogue and was being escorted off to some prison facility. Or, who knows, maybe they were going to be liquidated. The important thing was that the spokesman wanted us to stop it, and I was always up for a good rescue mission. At any rate, I quickly put together a team, but since this was a rescue mission, most of the choices seemed obvious. Mark and Don made up the core of the team, with Potato on long-range support. We still needed some heavies, so I decided to round out the squad with Zoltan Major, and that new recruit from the Templars, Henrik. Bradford seemed to approve of the lineup, and he quickly dubbed it Operation Earthly Mist. I'll admit, the codename did make it seem almost relaxing, despite the impending bloodshed. How could something like mist ever be scary?
We just got word from the spokesman. Apparently the aliens have captured a VIP of critical importance to the resistance effort, and they'd like us to handle the rescue operation. We'll need to lock down the area, free the VIP, and evac the target as quickly as possible. Menace 1-5, we have a confirmed location for the VIP. Move to rendezvous. Eliminate all hostile contacts.
Position is obscured.
Hey, RetconRaider here, and welcome back to Episode 9. Today it looks like we're starting off with a rescue mission. And I'll tell you, I used to dread these missions. There are timers on a lot of missions in XCOM 2, but the timers in these rescue missions tend to be the worst. If you run out of time in a lot of the other missions, you lose the objective, and then you're told to extract your team. But with these VIP rescue missions, if you run out of time, your entire team is lost. They're all automatically captured by Advent.
Double time.
Fortunately, with War of the Chosen, we get abilities like the one that prevents the timer from progressing until the enemies see us, so that makes this significantly easier.
Solid copy.
And speaking of enemies, we're not seeing any yet, but we're still a pretty good distance from the Advent prisoner. It's a shame to give up the elevation advantage, but I guess we've really got no choice but to go down into that big courtyard.
Orders confirmed. Moving out.
Well, Mark just spotted a scanning tower, so let's take a quick look at that.
Infiltration.
Ooh, this one gives us a chance to hijack an enemy unit. That's tremendously useful, but it would blow our cover, and the chances of success are pretty low anyway. We don't want to risk bringing in enemy reinforcements this early in the mission, so we'll just have to pass for now.
Good copy. Moving on target.
I think we'll get our entire squad lined up along this guardrail here. Oh, there we go. There's someone. What is that? An Advent officer. And I'm pretty sure I saw a trooper standing in the darkness just past him. Well, we're obviously not going to attack them this turn. So for now, let's just keep moving the squad into position.
On my way. I'm all over it. Affirmative. Covering now. No one gets by me.
Okay, so it is indeed an Advent officer and an Advent trooper. Looks like we're back to basics here. We could start this fight right now. Potato's got a really good angle on these guys. He wouldn't be able to kill the Advent officer in one shot, but that trooper is easy pickings. But then again, I'm not sure if we should commit ourselves to combat just yet. The second we take that first shot, the timer starts counting down. Oh, Mark's got visual on another scanning tower, so let's go ahead and take a quick look at that. Okay, it's got the same effects as the first tower, but slightly better percentage chances. I'm still not ready to risk bringing in an enemy reinforcement pod, but I might have to revisit that tower on a later turn. For now, let's just go ahead and start shooting at these guys. No kill.
We're busted.
But he's down to 2 health and he's poisoned. They're both hugging cover now, but we can't afford to get stuck in a drawn-out battle. So let's see if we can finish these guys off as efficiently as possible. Henrik's auto pistol is pretty weak, so he's a good choice for trying to finish off that badly wounded trooper. There we go. Now we have 3 more soldiers who can focus on trying to take out the officer. Though I am starting to run out of defensive positions along the edge of the building. But that's fine. Let's start with someone who's got some grenades. They can take out the officer's cover, and that'll make it much easier to finish him off. Too far away to reach him with a grenade launcher, so let's go ahead and get a little closer at street level.
Headed there now. Get ready for a surprise.
Alright, light injury to the officer, but more importantly, his cover is gone. Now I just need to decide who to take the next shot with. I guess Mark's already in position, so He'll go first. Nice. A solid critical hit, but the officer's still standing. So I guess that means it's up to Don to finish him off. There we go. So a whopping 11 damage, too. I guess I should have had him take the first shot. Okay, no more alien pods in sight, but the timer has started, so we need to keep moving. We've got 11 turns to reach the evac zone, but we've still got a lot of ground to cover, so we might have to sprint a couple of times.
Affirmative, moving out. Position confirmed.
We don't know what kind of pods are still on the field, so let's go ahead and hedge our bets and risk hacking this scanning tower now.
Infiltrating access point.
Nice. A bit close, but still a success. Now let's just see who the game gives us control of.
Piece of cake.
Looks like a heavy pod right next to our evac zone. A muton, a mech, and an advent purifier. Let's hold back for a moment while I use that muton to tear the rest of the pod apart.
Scanning.
I'll maintain my watch.
Fine. On Overwatch.
The muton's already on fire, which does limit his offensive options. But obviously I don't really care about keeping the muton alive. In fact, I'd prefer if he gets killed here. But I do want him to do as much damage to the other guys as possible before he kicks it. He's got a pretty solid chance to hit that mech, so let's start there. And now we'll continue moving the rest of the squad up towards the holding facility.
Heading to that location.
I'm not crazy about this approach. It doesn't give us a lot of cover. We just need to get to the top of this wall, and then there's the entrance. Then we just have to push through the rest of this facility and take out whatever aliens are still in our way. Well, let's focus on consolidating the squad for now.
Moving to designated position. A good decision. Copy that. Heading out. Overwatch. Overwatch. I'm on it.
Wow. That mech and purifier are using some of the most ineffective battle strategies I've ever seen. I mean, if that were a soldier and not a mind-controlled muton, I'd probably care about getting him out of there, but obviously that's not a concern in this particular case. We'll just have him hold position in this giant blazing inferno, and he'll casually finish off that mech. That's one less enemy we'll have to deal with. Now we can start moving the rest of the squad up again. I guess we'll go all the way up to the bottom of this big wall. But I don't think it's a good idea to move up this ladder just yet.
I'm all over it. Running. Moving out.
Will do. No one gets by me.
Now, we finally lost control of that Muton, but that's okay. I think at this point we've done about as much damage as possible with him. We've only got 8 turns left, so let's get up these ladders and lay siege to the facility.
Affirmative. Moving out.
Well, we're not seeing any enemies yet, so let's risk moving a little closer. We can hug full cover near the front entrance. No, still nothing. Alright, well, let's bring up the rest of the squad then.
Copy that.
We do still need to be at least a little careful here. These operations generally have a minimum of 3 enemy pods to deal with. We've taken one of them out already, and the other one is badly damaged. But that means there's still a 3rd pod hiding here somewhere.
As you direct.
Oh, speaking of which, there's that badly injured Muton we were controlling earlier. Well, it shouldn't be too hard to take him out. Though we do need to make sure we start moving into that back room. We still need to hack that cell open so we can rescue the VIP. Oh, there's the Purifier too. Not worried about him. And scratch off one Muton. Oh, and it looks like he dropped some loot too, so I'll definitely want to make sure to pick that up in the next couple of turns.
Rolling.
Out of grenade range, terrible chance to hit, but
Get it together.
now I could start moving Dawn into the back room, but Mark's the one who needs to be there to hack the door open, and I'm worried that the 3rd enemy pod is hiding back there. So let's hang back for now and just start congregating in the lobby here.
Affirmative. Moving out.
Instead of continuing to waste our actions with 25% chance shots, we'll just move the rest of the squad into position and set them on Overwatch. That Purifier can't hit us without getting closer.
Understood. Moving out.
Maintaining this
Come
area.
get some. I missed. My effort.
Well, that could have gone better.
Incoming over here. Getting close here.
Wait, I don't think he actually set anyone on fire. And he's left himself in a completely exposed flanked position. Okay, well, I'll happily take advantage of that.
Confirmed.
Well, let's try that again.
Not good.
Okay, still not quite there yet, but one more tap should finish this guy off. I want to keep Mark available for hacking, so I guess it's up to Zoltan.
Moving to designated coordinates. Target eliminated. Running dry.
You know, this back room wraps all the way around, so maybe I'll just have Mark cut across, pick up these items, and then he'll go in through the other door.
Heading out.
Well, there's that third pod we've been looking for. Well, at least it's some pretty decent loot. 2 Illyrium cores and an advanced expanded magazine.
Got something new.
This definitely puts us in a rough position. We can't afford to leave Mark there, so he's going to need to move somewhere safer. But we can at least pick off one of those sectoids real quick. Henrik still hasn't gone, and he's a sectoid killing machine. Yeah, that'll do. Let's take that guy out.
We'll tell you apart.
And then we can use momentum to pull back to a safer position. We'll go ahead and move Mark into this back room as well. Get him out of the line of fire.
Orders confirmed. Moving out.
Now, Henrik. I don't want to risk leaving him too close to that enemy muton. So let's move him back here where he's got full cover. Yikes. Thank goodness for plasma-proof couches. And it looks like... Yep, that sectoid is wasting his turn. Well, first things first, let's finish off the second sectoid. And of course, that will kill the zombie as well. And now we can focus on taking out that muton, which should actually be pretty easy because he's put himself in a very bad position. All we have to do is move past him and, hey, flanking shots for everyone. Now, before I commit the other guys to taking out that muton, let's take a peek around this corner just to make sure we're not walking into a fourth pod. Looks clear, so let's go ahead and crack open that door.
Addressing security.
Well, both of these hacking results look pretty good. I'd love to delay the dark events, but I think we're better off going for the safer of the two options. Nice. That'll help when we start expanding to Brazil.
System infiltration in progress. Got it.
Let's go ahead and finish off this muton. In fact, I think Potato can probably do that with his handgun.
Heading there now.
Look at that muton. Defiant to the end.
No longer a threat.
And with him out of the way, we can start moving Don into position to activate this prisoner. And then we just have to get to the evac zone. Oh, right. And we should probably tuck Henrik into a slightly more defensible position. No alien turn, so that means at this point there are no enemies left on the board. But I figure once we've activated the prisoner, we're going to see some reinforcements coming in, so I think we want to get our guys up to the rooftop.
Copy that.
Yeah, let's get everyone up into a prime ambush position. And if the enemies come down in the wrong spot, then we can just sprint to the evac zone and call it quits.
Orders confirmed. Moving out.
I'll lead the way. Stepping off.
Don't worry, the skull-faced man is here to help you.
We have the package and we're moving to deliver.
Menace 1-5 status confirmed. VIP is in tow. Proceed to the extraction point.
Affirmative. Moving out.
Now, I'd like to move the VIP to a position where he can evac next turn. Though I'm not sure if I'm seeing any easy routes. Yeah, I accidentally put Don in front of the ladder so he can't get up to the rooftop. Oh, but he can use the side entrance here. I didn't even notice that. That gives him a straight shot to the evac zone. Ah, of course. And the enemy reinforcements are trying to drop right in front of him.
On your current position.
Well, let's just start moseying our guys towards the evac zone. We'll set up for an ambush, and then we'll play it by ear.
That's affirmative.
Good copy. Moving on target.
And of course, let's get the VIP out of here.
Moving to position.
Moving to designated coordinates.
All right, everyone. Guns at the ready.
VIP secure and in position for evac.
Moving to Overwatch.
And here they come. Looks like you see a purifier there. And a mech and a stun lancer.
The Elder's jailers are near.
Whoa. I have no idea how Zoltan took out that mech in one shot. Ah, and Don makes short work of the stun lancer.
Target down.
Well, that just leaves us with the purifier. We could extract now, but we've still got a couple of turns, so I think we'll stick around just long enough to kill him, and then we'll bail. Except Potato. He wasn't really optimally placed for this ambush anyway.
Moving to designated position. Packing it in. Confirmed.
Oh, well, that was quick. Nice job, Mark. Let's all go home.
Just in time.
I've got to say, I think those purifiers are the easiest enemies in the game, but it's very satisfying watching them explode.
I'm going. Heading home.
Status confirmed. Mission accomplished.
Mark and Don leading another flawless rescue mission. Good work, everyone.
The speaker commended loyal citizens today for standing up to those who would abandon our values for those of the old world. The remarks followed a moment of silence for peacekeepers slain by XCOM dissidents.
I've got to say, that went pretty smooth. We were down to the wire there. We only had 2 turns left on the counter, but we pulled it off.
Impressive work, Commander. The aliens are probably still wondering what hit them.
Alright, we've got promotions for pretty much everyone except for Henrik. Mark will grab Revival Protocol. Zoltan will grab Shredder. Potato will, of course, pick up Long Watch. and Don will grab Shadow Step. Operation Earthly Mist was a refreshingly clean and simple ground mission. Things had gotten a little dicey once or twice, but ultimately the men had come out of it with no casualties or injuries, and they'd even managed to successfully extract the VIP, who was, of course, so pleased with the rescue that he immediately signed on to our research staff. Mark and Don had also grown quite accustomed to working together, and I saw them hanging out more and more often during their off time. As strange as they both were, it was nice to see that kind of team cohesion, so I made a mental note to continue assigning them both to the same squads. After that, it was back to the usual parade of constant reports and updates. Lily and her team had finished patching the new shielded alien power core into the rest of our grid, and our power crisis was officially over. We quickly capitalized on our newfound power reserves by upgrading our engineering workshop to help facilitate continued expansion. And, inspired by Mark and Don's recent displays of teamwork, I ordered Lily to start work on another dedicated training facility on the Avengers' upper levels. Soon I got word that Pierce and Steve had returned with another new face in tow. Another eager addition to our steadily growing engineering team. I welcomed him aboard, but I was already distracted thinking about what our next covert op should be. I really did need to try to get back in touch with Mordena, and there was no point in putting it off any longer. But for a job this delicate, I was going to need people who I could trust to be discreet and efficient. I pulled Mark and Don aside and assigned them to a small team being headed up by Lieutenant Dragonova, giving them strict instructions to just gather intel. No murder, no sabotage. I just wanted them to find out where Mordena was hiding, so I could get in contact with her. They seemed to understand the urgent nature of my request, and quickly got to work. Relieved, I turned my attention back to the latest reports. Apparently, while I had been otherwise occupied, Bradford had found an old alien craft with another lead on the Avatar project. It was a good, solid lead, but after the fallout surrounding the Black Site raid, I wasn't quite ready to tackle another major Advent facility. Instead, I just looked through the latest intel briefings on potential targets. It was pretty grim stuff. Most of the latest targets of opportunity were in zombie-infested ruins, some of them rife with other possible environmental hazards. So I opted to choose what seemed to be the safest of the lot. Advent had just finished putting together their latest batch of new propaganda material, and it would be good for morale if we could prevent them from putting it into circulation. This was a nice, simple recovery op, so it was a good opportunity to give some of our men some more field experience. Purge Dome, the Bear, and Messer formed the core of the squad, and I backed them up with two of our newer recruits, Fireball Wilson and Steve Badger. Bradford dubbed this Operation Bonehammer. I didn't bother asking why. He could have all the fun he wanted coming up with those silly code names. I would just keep myself focused on bringing the squad back alive.
We just got word from the Resistance. One of their operatives located an Advent data vault in this area, storing information critical to the latest alien operation. We're moving in to seize that data and stop their progress before this goes any further. Eliminate any hostile contacts and secure the area. Menace 1-5, we've got a bead on the Advent data vault near your position. Be advised, self-detonating charges are in place at the target. Move to disarm and extract the package before its contents are destroyed.
And we're back with another straightforward mission. Like in a lot of the other mission types, this time we just have to get within visual range of that Advent container and hack it so that it won't explode. The first thing we're going to do is get up onto the rooftop here so that we can get a better view of the area. But then it looks like we're going to have to advance across this big open parking lot. Fortunately, as always, we've got the advantage of that resistance order, which will prevent the timer from actually counting down until the enemies know we're here.
Time to motor.
So far so good. No sign of any enemies yet, so let's keep advancing across the rooftop. And next turn we'll get to the edge and take a look at the parking lot below.
Befehl bestätigt. Heading there now.
Moving out.
Moving to designated coordinates. Good copy. Moving on target. Roger. I've got my eyes on the opponents.
Moving to Overwatch.
Affirmative. Covering now. Shut up. Listen.
Well, we just heard a pod, but that's not really much of a surprise. We're probably heading right towards at least 2 or 3 of them. You know what? I don't like the idea of running across that low ground, so instead let's sprint across the street here and get over to this second building. That's actually close enough that we'll be able to fire from the rooftop into the building where the container is. Apparently Purge Dome can see a nearby scanning tower. Let's go ahead and take a peek at that. Well, that's not too bad. A chance to boost his crit percentage for a few turns, or a smaller chance to boost the whole squad's crit chance. We have a pretty solid chance of success here, so... well, apparently I should have gone for squad precision. Well, it's not much, but that gives Purge Dome a small boost for the next 3 turns. Now let's see if we can actually find some enemies to shoot at.
We've got access.
Okay, so now we want to focus on getting over to the next building. But first we'll take a peek down at the street. Looks clear. So now we'll start sprinting across.
On the move.
We will, of course, hug cover wherever possible, and then next turn we'll get up onto that other roof.
Und up gates. Roger that. Location confirmed. Da draußen ist etwas.
Now, this is a bit of a risky move. Hopefully there are no enemies on this rooftop. And I'm just now noticing this other scanning tower. I didn't see that before. That also makes things a little problematic. But let it never be said that I don't take chances. Let's get up there. Alright, the roof looks clear. The scanning radius of that tower does extend onto the roof a little bit, but I think we can avoid that pretty easily.
On the move.
I can have Purge Dome try to hack that tower, but for now, let's just focus on getting everyone else on the roof.
On it. We've got an enemy squad
Oh,
here.
hey, there's our first enemy pod, and it looks like a lone officer. That's a bit strange. He probably has some backup hiding in the shadows out of sight somewhere. Well, let's go ahead and bring Messer up into a prime sniping position to prep for next turn. And then we'll bring Elizabeth up. If I can find a good place for her to stand. I guess this'll have to do.
Copy that.
Okay, now, I could have Purge Dome hack that tower. Actually, no, I can't. He can't see the tower. Alright, well, you know what? Let's just go ahead and get this fight started. The scanning tower's not going to matter once the enemies actually know we're here. Its only purpose is to reveal us if we're still in stealth. I think we'll go ahead and have Messer start the fight off for us. He won't be able to kill that officer in a single shot, but he'll do some pretty serious damage. And then we'll just have to see where the officer and the rest of his pod end up. Ah, looks like he has 2 stun lancers lurking in that building right next to him. Well, now we know what we're dealing with, so let's lay into them. We'll start by bringing WOTC up. He can lob a grenade their way, take out some of their cover, inflict a few light injuries, and set up some easy kills for the rest of the squad.
Bombs away!
Oh, and I'm actually catching a glimpse of another enemy health bar over there to the left. Okay, now, who shoots next? Purge Dome's actually got a pretty good chance to hit, and we do need to finish off that officer. Badger's really too far away to effectively use his shotgun right now. Oh, but if we move him up closer, he'll have a flanking shot on that stun lancer. Nice, we'll take that shot. And that takes care of 1 stun lancer. There's that enemy health bar again. Now Purge Dome can finish off that officer. Nice. And that just leaves Fireball Wilson, but there's no good place for her to stand, so I think we'll tuck her over here and put her on Overwatch.
Affirmative. Covering now. Shot failed to connect.
No way. That guy can't possibly reach us in 1 turn. Well, okay then. I drastically underestimated how far that Lancer could move, but we lucked out. He barely managed to do any damage to Messer, and he didn't inflict any status conditions. What's more, he's set himself up for an easy kill here because he's just standing there with no cover, so let's knock him out of the way and keep moving towards the container. Get off my roof. And now the rest of the squad can start moving towards that container, and if we've got time, we can grab that loot.
Moving on target location. Confirmed. I got a weird feeling about this place. Moving out!
Weird. Purge Dome can't hack this scanning tower even when he's standing right next to it.
Overwatch.
Oh well, other things to focus on.
Scanning a beat.
Well, that loot's about to explode, so let's take a chance here. The bear is going to sprint up and grab it before it can detonate.
Will do.
Nice, another autoloader. We can always use more of those.
Got it.
And now we'll bring the rest of the squad up.
Moving in position.
Oh shoot, that's... Alright, well, I meant to keep Messer up on the rooftop, but I accidentally moved him up. I meant to move Purge Dome up. Well, that's fine. I'll move him back in a moment. Or maybe I'll keep him up here. I guess it depends on where the next pod comes from.
Roger that.
Good copy. Moving on target. I'm on it.
Scanning.
Well, still no sign of any enemies, so let's get Purge Dome in there.
Moving.
close.
Now let's see here.
Menace 1-5, this is Avenger. We have positive confirmation of the target package. Move to acquire.
Reduced scanning time, that's pretty nice. Or reduced research time. Well, we only have a few days left on our current research project, so that's no big deal. And we missed both of them anyway. But at least we completed our objective.
Got it! The gear is secure. Menace 1-5, status confirmed. The charges are inactive and the package is secure. Eliminate any remaining hostiles near the AO.
Okay, well, let's go ahead and consolidate the squad, and I guess we'll have to start sweeping the area for those errant pods.
Affirmative, covering now. On Overwatch.
Let's get Messer back on the roof, and everyone else will hunker down and wait for contact. Okay, well, still nothing. There's still a lot of the map we haven't seen, so they could be over here. Or maybe over here. Hopefully this won't take too long. I've been kind of spoiled by the Long Moor mod. And there, enemy pods start steadily gravitating towards you once you've started making noise. But I'm not sure if that's something they're programmed to do in War of the Chosen.
Understood, moving out. Feuerschutz. Heading there now.
Rolling. Advent forces sighted.
Ah, there we go. Looks like a Spectre and a mech. Oh, and a shield bearer. Well, it's unfortunate that they activated after we'd already taken all our move actions, but at least we can still pick off a few shots here. Fireball has a guaranteed shot against the mech, but there's no way she can drop it in one hit. Purge Dome has no visuals. Wojtek can see the Spectre, but his chances of hitting are pretty low. But let's see if he can drop his acid grenade on that shield bearer. Ah, there we go. Let's do that. Now, can I follow that up with anything? Negligible chance to hit, but let's go ahead and use Badger's grenade as well.
Throw a grenade!
Alright. Well, Purge Dome still doesn't have a visual, but Fireball could easily finish off that shield bearer. But then again, there's a pretty good chance that ongoing acid damage will finish him off for us, so I think we'll go ahead and take the shot at the mech instead. And I guess we'll just put Purge Dome on Overwatch.
Scanning.
Nice, there goes the shield bearer. And there goes their Spectre. We've always taken these guys out on turn 1, so I'm still not really sure what they can... Ooh, okay, well that was a pretty accurate shot. Minor injury, though. And the mech takes out a street lamp. Okay, I think we're in pretty good shape here. Let's go ahead and take out the mech.
It's down.
And Messer could take a 40% shot on this Spectre, but I'm not crazy about the position I have him in. Let's shuffle him over behind cover.
Schon unterwegs. Na los, zeigt euch.
Now I would like to move Purge Dome outside so he can throw out some heals, but he can't quite get out there. So instead, I think we're going to have Fireball move into the room where he can see her. Alright, we'll dole out a quick heal, and still a negligible chance to hit that Spectre. But we do need to start doing some damage to him, so... yeah, a miss. I guess the odds were against it anyway. We'll just plop Purge Dome into Overwatch instead. Okay, well, the Spectre disappeared. I'm not really sure what to make of that. Is he invisible? Is he teleporting? Either way, I'm suddenly a lot less comfortable about keeping Messer all the way over here by himself. Oh, and as an added bonus, that puts him just close enough that Purge Dome can patch up his injury as well.
Kremlin, get on the heels!
And I guess we'll just put everyone else on Overwatch until we know what's going on with that Spectre.
Come get some.
Got it covered. Got it covered.
Okay, there he is. I guess it was like invisibility. And now he's a cloud of gas. A bulletproof cloud of gas.
Enemy is still up! Enemy is still up!
Now, what is he doing? Okay, I do not like that one bit. I guess that must be the cloning ability I saw teased at in the pre-release promo material. Jeez, and he's still going? How many actions does this guy get? Alright, we're down a man, and we've got 2 hostiles on the field. Roderick has a suboptimal chance of hitting either of these targets, so let's go ahead and make use of his grenade. It won't do much damage, but it will take out his cover. Whoops, and it took out his floor as well. That is not actually what I wanted. Okay, dang it. That puts him out of visual range, so we can't blade rush him. I guess that means we're going to need to focus on taking out the shadow instead. I could blade rush him, but that wouldn't finish him off and it would put Fireball in a bad spot. And it's pretty tough to approach him, too. There's only a couple of spots we can move where we can see him while keeping adequate cover. Well, Fireball's still got a grenade, so I think we're going to move her up and we're going to use that grenade to take out the Shadow's cover as well.
Bombs away.
And now we just need one of these other guys to capitalize on the opening.
Heading to that location.
And that knocks out the Shadow.
It's down. Weapons burning ammo fast.
I guess we'll move the bear up. He'll call in an evac zone so we can evacuate Steve.
Evac, now!
Oh, wait. Okay, never mind. I guess killing the Shadow must have revived Steve. That's convenient. Well, it's still good to have an exit zone just in case we need it. Well, I would like to send him after the Spectre, but since he has no chance of taking it out in one turn, I think we'll play it safe for now.
Affirmative, covering now.
Okay, the Spectre decided not to come back out, so I guess we'll have to go in after it. Well, I can see he's standing in the corner here, so let's just move our Rangers in and finish him off. Hi there. Oh, still not dead yet? That's fine, we can fix that. And that takes care of our second Advent pod. Now, there's still no sign of the third pod, so I think we're just going to have to start methodically working our way around the map until we come into contact with them. They've got to be entrenched somewhere out of sight.
Heading out.
This is probably going to get pretty boring, so let's go ahead and skip forward. And we're back. Wow. Turns out I had the memory of a goldfish because I forgot. We already know where the last pod is. We saw them like 6 times while we were taking out that first group. Looks like a Spectre and 2 Vipers. That's definitely a pretty obnoxious pod, but hopefully we'll be able to take them out efficiently. Purge Dome still has a grenade, so he could take out some cover, but I'm hesitant to move him too close. I don't want him getting cloned or tongue-lashed. In fact, no one's really got an optimal approach here. I could Blade Rush the Spectre, but that'll just end up injuring him, and then I'll take out my Ranger and replace him with another Shadow. Well, Purge has a pretty good chance to hit from where he's at, so let's go ahead and chance it. Well, he hit him for 5 damage, but he also took out half of Messer's cover in the process. Let's go ahead and bring Fireball up, see if she can finish off the Spectre. Nope, missed an 80% shot, but at least as a consolation prize, she took out that trash bag he was using as cover. The question is, can I actually move anyone into a position where they can take advantage of the flanking shot?
Orders confirmed. On the move.
And he's still standing. Of course he is. Well, let's see if we can finish him off with Badger. Oh, okay, here we go. Nice. And that just leaves us with 2 Vipers. Annoying, but theoretically manageable. Unfortunately, we can't risk leaving Messer here. He's too exposed to possible flanking shots. So we'll need to find some good cover for him to hunker down behind. I guess this'll have to do.
Nähere mich der Zielposition.
That all you got?
Oh good. Poison. Well, that's unfortunate. That means Steve and Messer are both taking damage over time, and they'll also be suffering a penalty to their aim attributes. Well, I think it's time to get a little aggressive here. Let's move Purge Dome up so he can pitch his grenade at someone.
Moving to designated position.
Yikes, that could have been bad. I really need to pay more attention to those Overwatch notifications. Well, back to the task at hand. Let's go ahead and take out that billboard. My apologies to the Robot Basketball League. And now we can move the bear around the side to finish her off.
Position confirmed.
Or not. Okay, well, at least that gives Messer the chance for some payback.
Befehl bestätigt.
There we go. Nicely done, Messer. And that just leaves us with the 2 Rangers. That should be enough to finish this, as long as neither of them misses. Oof, of course.
Shot wide.
Okay, we've still got Fireball. She has no chance of killing the Viper with her sword, so I think our best bet is to move into a flanking position and hope for a critical hit. Man, this is not our lucky day. Well, hold on. Okay. Unfortunately, the Viper did something tremendously stupid and has left itself in an exposed position, so I guess we did get a little lucky. Let's just go ahead and start popping off flanking shots at the Viper, and someone's bound to take her down.
Headed there now.
And there we go. Job's done.
Target neutralized.
Status confirmed. All hostiles are down and the area is secure. Status confirmed. Mission accomplished.
All Advent gene therapy clinics will be closed tomorrow for equipment upgrades. Initial reports that the suspension of services were the result of dissident activity have been dismissed as radical propaganda.
I like how Advent decided to use the destruction of their propaganda material as propaganda. Okay, promotions for everyone but Messer. Sorry, Messer. That means revival protocol for Rooster. I'll fix your nickname in time for the next episode. The Bear gets suppression, of course, though I still haven't had a chance to actually use that perk. Fireball will pick up my beloved Blade Master. As will Steve. Operation Bonehammer had been another rousing success. Sure, some of the men had suffered some minor injuries, but they would all be back in fighting shape within a week. It was another nice, smooth mission, but now that it was over, there was nothing else to keep me distracted. Now the only thing left for me to do was wait until our covert ops team got back with the latest news on my increasingly elusive alien girlfriend.